currently, or has been this past year, a Connection Point volunteer? Raise your hand if you have been one from the start or you joined on this year. All right, most everybody's here. We've got a few new folks. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for giving up your time, for coming early, for staying late, for putting on a smile when there might have been some moments you didn't want to put on a smile. And I get that. That's called life. But you did it anyway. And you did it for our Lord Jesus, and you did it as representatives of our church. And I just want to tell you that your efforts are really paying off. Since I got here, and everything I'm going to tell you right now is anecdotal. All right, I admit that. I have nothing to verify what I'm telling you is the fact. It's just what I think. But from the moment I got here, I always heard about how friendly First Baptist Church was. And it was true. It really was. But just more and more and more, since I got here 3 years ago, people who come into the church to visit, and some of them visit and stay and join and get involved, more and more it seems like over these 3 years, and especially this past year, that's what we're hearing from people. That this is one of the friendliest places that they have ever been. And quite honestly, I think that this Connection Point, and really you're the cream of the crop. I mean, you embody what's good about this place. With your demeanor, with your smile, with your helpfulness, it's paying off. Now again, this is anecdotal, okay? But our numbers for the past few years have kind of slipped just a little bit in worship attendance. But guess what they have done this past year? They're not going this way. The trend line is going up. Now, obviously, there are many, many factors to that. We can point to the 11 o'clock worship, which is a huge part of what's going on. I mean, multiple things. Naples Christmas Spectacular, sports outreach. There's a lot of things that we can point to. But one of the things that I know I can point to as part of the reason that people are feeling so comfortable, that people are coming back, that people are staying, that people are joining, is because of what happens right here at the Connection Point. So I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being so wonderful this year. You really have been a godsend. The next item that I want to talk about is Connection Point versus place of all church knowledge. Okay, this is the Connection Point. It's not the place of all church knowledge. All right. Now, here I'm just kind of being facetious here. But here's what I want you to know. You're not going to be able to answer every question that comes to this place. The more and more prominent that this place becomes, the more and more people want to come to it and find an answer. You're not going to be able to give it all the time. There are multiple times that people come to this place and ask about, where do I sign up for so-and-so with the choir? Well, hopefully we can point right down there because we've already been observing as we walk in and we've seen, well, that's the Naples Christmas Spectacular sign up right there. But there's going to be moments that they're going to come in and ask about where to sign up, and you've already looked around. And there's nothing here. And it's okay to say, you know what? I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that, but let me see if I can find an answer for you. And that's when you find me, or you find one of the other staff members. Typically, on the weekend, right there, minus after the 9:30 service, because Pastor can't be out here because he's getting ready for the 11. But usually, it's myself or another staff member. And you guys all have been around here long enough, you know who the staff members are, the pastoral staff. Just grab one of them, ask them the question. And then if we still can't get an answer, because listen, there are times that things are going on here I don't know the answer to. I should know the answer, I guess. But we have so many activities and ministries that happen in this place. I'm sorry, I can't know them all. And so what I need to do, if it's really pressing with someone, or if you don't get me, just, can I have your name and number? I'll find out an answer for you and have one of our staff call you. We'd be happy to do that. So I just want to take the burden off you for you to understand you don't have to know everything, okay? Now, we will talk about some of the ways you can find out some things, and here's one of them right here. This little place right here is the upcoming special events, all right? Now, what you might want to do when you get here on the weekend is just stop at this, spin it around. Here's the Family Life Presents Weekend to Remember on Marriage. All right, so that's there. So I know if someone comes up to the connection point and asks about some marriage conference somebody was telling me about, it's right here. There's the information. Here's four better ways to demonstrate God's love by Steve Hayes. He did that a while back. Here's the Senior Adult Ministry, First Baptist Church Naples, what they've got for this fall coming up, the things that they're doing. And then here's some mission churches that are meeting here at First Baptist Church Naples. Someone came a couple of weeks ago and said, well, I can't find where the mission churches are meeting, and are they still here? And so we were responsive to that. Rhonda got this form in here, so that's here. And then here's our Kingdom mission documents. So this will change, but we just came up with this so that we would have a place to put these kind of things so that you can steer people to it if they come. Now, obviously, there will be things at times on this desk right here. For instance, Camille. Raise your hand, Camille. She's the head of our cookbook. Taste and See Cookbook. And so we had to have a place for people to drop recipes. So we got a little space here for the next few weeks. So that's right there. And then over here, and this is kind of a typical thing that stays up here. It predated me in coming, and it just seems to be the kind of place that's there. But this is where a lot of times our legacy builders will sign up for their trips. Okay? One of the things that we try to do is, in fact, most of the people here don't have anything to do with this area here. We're more kiosk oriented. But we have some wonderful ladies that have worked at this desk probably from when I was in high school, and they do a great job. And this is kind of their place, and so we were happy to leave it there. But one of the things that we try to do is kind of keep the counter clean. I'm not a clean or a clutter freak. I'm really not. I'm not OSD or ODS or whatever it's called. But I do like things to be just kind of a little bit orderly. And you say, well, that's a personality quirk. I get it. It is. But I admit to it, okay? So that's the first step in recovery. And so I kind of like to have things that don't look junky. That's just kind of me, and I'm kind of responsible for it, so I'll take the hit on that. Okay, next thing, gift bag and connection card. Now, you know that we try to do, and we are still working on this. We try every announcement to, at the end of that announcement, or when we talk about the connection card, to make the statement in the worship time that we actually have a gift for people. I'm going to try to get myself to stop saying this, and the other staff members, that we have a free gift for you. If it wasn't free, it wouldn't be a gift. So we're hopefully going to get our grammar correct here soon. But we have these bags right here. Now, obviously, this is for those who are potentially going to sign on with us to help. It's not much. A little coffee in here, a coffee mug, and just some information about the church. But this is what we want to give all of our first or second time guests. Gift cards. And yeah, that's right. Gift cards are there for them. But here's what we don't want to do. I don't know if anybody that's come up here a third or a fourth time, you know, if someone abuses it, then yeah, I may be aware of it, but they just don't do that. So if they hadn't got one of these, we're going to give them one. But here's kind of, yeah, Jeff.
Is it conditional on filling out this card?
You know, it is, but here's where we have to be very sly. Okay. If someone comes up and they say, well, I'm here for the first time, great, I'm going to get you that gift. We're going to get this to you, and we're handing it to them. And thank you for being here today. Oh, by the way, did you happen to fill out one of those connection cards? Did you not fill one out? Oh, I got one right here. You've already put it in their hands. They are not going to tell you no. See how sly that was? Okay. Now many times, I put it in their hands and you put it in their hands and say, oh yeah, I filled it out in the service. Great. If they filled it out in the service and put it in the offering plate, mission accomplished. We got what we needed from them. So that's how we do the bags. Any questions on the bags? Okay, great. Next one, theological issues and church membership. Now here's where I say defer to the pastors. If you get yourself into a conversation or a conversation started where someone starts talking to you about end times, what does the pastor believe? You don't speak for the pastor.
That's right.
Okay, you don't. I don't. I don't even do that. I'll say, well, you know what? I'll tell you what, I'd love for Dr. Wicker to explain to you his theological position on that. I had someone talking to me the other 2 or 3 weeks ago about what we believe on predestination. Okay, we're kind of around the board on that in a number of different places. Not everybody, I know this is weird, but not everybody believes exactly like Dr. Wicker does. He just doesn't, and that's okay. There are a number of things that we agree on, and there are some things that we differ just a little bit on theologically. So one of the things that I don't want you to do is to get yourself stuck in a conversation you don't want to be in, okay? So if it comes to a theological type issue and you sense, hey, this is going in a weird direction, and I don't want to go there, then you look for me, you look for Pastor Larry, for Pastor Doug, for Pastor Steve. You grab Kevin Taylor if he's walking by. That's all you got to do, okay? So feel free to divert that to us. And then when folks come forward and they say, hey, I'm interested in joining the church, praise God, that is wonderful. Find one of us. There are some questions that we would just like to ask them as pastors. And so find one of us and we'll take care of that.
Pastor, what are those questions? Do you mind?
Yes. It's honestly very easy to become a member here. And I think that's good. But one of the things that we have to do is we have to ask some specific questions because not everybody's terminology is the same. So, for instance, if someone said, well, I'm a Christian, I've been baptized. Now, on the surface, that sounds great. But in reality, they may have come to Christ when they were 26 years old and they were sprinkled as a baby in the Methodist Church. And their definition of baptism was sprinkling, and they just said, I'm a Christian, I've been baptized. So in their mind, done deal. I should be able to become a member. Well, that's not exactly how we see it. Biblically, we believe that a person is to be baptized, not by sprinkling, but immersion. And you know this well. After the point of turning their life over to Christ. And so we just try to make sure that we are speaking the same language and using the same terms when we're talking to folks. And that's why I just like to have one of the pastors kind of get into that conversation with them. But does that make sense? So you can join that way. You can also join as a transfer of letter being a letter of membership from another Southern Baptist church. But the only way that person would be a member of another Southern Baptist church, theoretically, is that they have done exactly what I just said. They have committed their life to Christ and been baptized after that event by immersion. Did I answer your question, Jeff?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, great. And you know what? I gotta give a shout out to my buddy here. We did an interview with Jeff this summer. Just wanted to do testimony, and Jeff's sitting in my office, and we're having that discussion, and I'm getting his testimony, and he said, "Well, I came to Christ, but I've not been baptized after that event." Isn't that right? But you were baptized before it, but you actually hadn't come to Christ in that event. And here's why I want to pick on him and use this example, because it is a perfect picture of obedience. When I brought to him what the Bible says